Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM21. It's Worst to First, episode number 6. We finally have it. Our youth intake, 9th of April. So late. I've never seen a youth intake this late in the game, or at least I don't recall seeing one this late in the game. The group of players that we have coming in, we still have a complete set. That was one thing I wasn't sure about with our youth level being a 0 if we were only going to get a handful of players. But what we do have is a ton of potential. Well, not actually. One, we have a terrible assistant coach who would be doing the evaluation of this, and so they don't know what they're doing. Their youth or their player potential ratings are extremely low. 2, what we have is right now our team is somewhere between a current ability of like a 2 or 3 and maybe 10 or 12 at most in terms of how far they've developed. So if our top player is, say, a 10 current ability, well, the potential only needs to exceed that to be 5-star potential, because it's always relative to your team rankings. So even current ability, everybody showing up as a half-star. We've got a 1-star for Finley, Young, Combs, and looking here at Combs, balance is good, leadership is nice, technique is up there, first touch is good. I mean, compared to the team we have right now, they're actually not that far off. But what is a 1-star to us right now? We know that 1-star has got to be more than a 1 current ability because we're comparing who is our 1-star. It's Hulk. Hulk's actually showing as 1-star now and developing. Oh, that's nice. We have a goalkeeping coach, so we're actually seeing some progress. But handful of 6s, 5s, of course, goalkeepers rated slightly different set of things that they're being evaluated on, but it's only slightly off. And okay, 6s and 5s is a 1-star. So, going back to the youth candidates that we have, and where is he at? Averages about 6s. So, okay. Yeah, actually makes sense. So Finley Young Combs is almost as good as, at least on paper, the players we have in the team right now. Or at least their base level. Nobody else seems to be up that high, but that also makes sense when we have youth recruitment and everything at the minimum. But all it takes is that, that 10 or 12 potential to have the highest potential. So what I thought I was going to be doing, as this is really going to be a focus play on the 18 that we have, I really thought I was only going to take 3, 4, maybe 6 players and just ditch the rest, because we're not really going to focus on our youth. And maybe in a pinch, if we take some injuries, we'll bring up a couple of youth players and actually, give them some games. But I don't know how to pick when they all have the same potential. So we'll have to give them a little time and see what happens. Maybe this will split up a little bit and we'll actually be able to see those that have some potential and those that don't. I really don't want to use the alternative view to see. All right, so what could go down as the biggest match of the season is now underway. We are on the road at Enfield, Borough, second place overall. We have an interesting situation on our hands. 5 matches to play. We have a 12-point lead over Enfield Borough as Thor nearly curls that one into the back of the net. If we win this game, the lead stretches from 12 to 15. And the number of games remaining to play goes from 5 down to 4. So we would win the league if we win this match today. With a draw, the lead remains at 12, and even though we'll have a substantial goal differential, we would not secure the title in this game. So we need to win to secure it. Of course, even with a loss, we're still looking heavily favored to win the league, especially as poor as Enfield Borough have been down the stretch. They have really not played well their last 5 or 6 games. Groot over the top, nearly recovers, and we do recover. Gene Gray does, gets a shot, it's pushed out wide. I think it might have banged off the post if the keeper does not save that, but here's the free kick, and Gene Gray gets the opener. 13th goal of the season. Corner kicks, we are so dangerous on corner kicks as we pounce on it before others do. It's the movement. They just read it and get after it, where other players, other teams are slow to react. And that has been our strength all season. Shots are 7-1, 56% possession here through the first half hour of this one. Here's a free kick, another chance. Thor's going to take it. Nebula gets it. Gamora pounces on it, and that is number 2. And it is looking that, yes, we could be winning the title today. Keeper makes a good stop. Gamora, that's the back heel flick to get that one in. Coming back away from goal. 2-0. Can they get one back and make a game of it? Not here. Groot starts the counterattack. Gray out on the weak side. We've got 2 players back to Groot. Oh, Groot should have been better. That should have been a goal. Stays 2-0. Another corner though. Jean Grey gets there, but she heads it over the bar. Off the throw in, Dr. Strange, long ball. Groot's going to have to chase it down. No clean look, but gets Gamora cutting in. Nice move there, but Gamora, whose body was kind of twisted on that one, couldn't quite open up enough and pulls it. Poor goalkeeping from Storm. That should have been her ball. She should have gotten out there, pounced on it, and at least blocked it, if not picked it up first. There's Wolverine on the turn, and there's the vicious takedown by Burton, who picks up the yellow card for his efforts. They've only had 2 shots on goal in the half, and we just saw the second of those. So total dominating fashion that we lead 2-0, but we have a half to go. Will they be up for the second half? Will we be up for the second half? Things are going well, but you can do even better? No. I'm going to go with... I'm going to be supportive here. There we go. And we get the second half underway. All right, they begin with possession. Ball ping-ponged around and bounced off, what was that, Doctor Strange? Quiet second half so far. We're already hitting the hour mark, and we've had very little in terms of notable highlights. Nebula not feeling it. Black Panther's not feeling it. Star-Lord's not feeling it. Captain America's having a really bad day with a 6.4 rating. Yet one of the happy ones. Here's Wolverine with a chance. Tries to go near post. Pushes it wide. Can't quite get there. That's the first notable play of the second half. Let's go ahead and start setting ourselves up for the end on this one. Nobody is overly fatigued. Here's Nebula with a chance. I'd love to see us seal this thing and get to 3-0. Wolverine, clean header, and can't do much with that. Looks like he's trying to pick out a teammate. Okay, Black Panther both down in morale and fatigue a bit. Let's go ahead and bring in Black Widow as a sub. Time is nearly up. Could start the celebrations quite soon here. Doctor Strange over the top. Here's Wolverine. Chance to go, but won't have the speed to stay up there, and actually ends up trying to take a 35-40 yard shot and just bangs it off the defender right in front of him. That was poor decision making. Here's another one over the top. Groot's going to get there, but can't do anything with it. Away from goal. And the counterattack begins. There's their they desperately need a goal here, and they get it. Jeff Waite with the goal. It's a beautiful goal. It's a well-earned goal, and we've got some concerns now. We do have some concerns here in the final minutes. You could always ask more of Storm on a play like that, but with the goalkeeping attributes she has. She's never going to be perfect, at least not for a long time yet. And here we are in possession. Now we're really going to start keeping our eye on this clock, and instruction-wise, this is a good time to try to put this thing away. Here's Groot, chance to seal the game that I've been looking for quite a while. Captain America is really still struggling. That's another happy there on a yellow. Cyclops. Oh, Storm! Disallowed, offside. Oh my goodness. Oh, the luck. Oh, he's definitely offside. Well offside. Okay. Storm does come out to challenge. Makes the right choice. Has the sweeper keeper. Thor. Ooh, gosh. Like Thor was going to score on our own goal. Jean Grey wins that header, though. It is stoppage time. We've got about 1 minute to go to seal up the title, but here's a real chance for Fowler, and wow, offside again. So lucky, so lucky. Let's go ahead and make our last substitution. Looking at what, Spider-Man? Doctor Strange clears that. Here's Wolverine, and there's the whistle. Oh. Okay, champions, we got our championship, but man, oh man, we went from totally dominating, and even most of the second half, we didn't look like ever grabbing another goal. They certainly didn't look like doing anything either, and then all of a sudden, last 10 minutes, bam, 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 they just hit us again and again and again, and that did get scary. The league title itself wasn't in doubt, but the immediate nature of it certainly was. Let's go ahead and just give that pat on the back. No reason not to. They just won the championship. U18s, youth candidates, I'm not worried about that one. We're going to go ahead and move forward. I don't know why I'm not getting the celebration, but this is happening at the same time, so I have to simultaneously coach that game. Few things. First off, we have wrapped up the league, so we are champions for the season, which kind of frees us up down the road. Two, I'm going to start rotating some players in so that they can develop as well, such as Hulk getting his second game at keeper, Spider-Man getting his first game, starting anyway as striker, that sort of thing. Also, now that the league is wrapped up, we're sending Professor X out to get his Continental A license. We have an ambitious board. They want this team to succeed, and they don't fear losing Professor X, who also has good determination anyway, to help convince the board. And so he is off to start a course, so that's going to make him even better as manager. Good things are coming. Also, I think we mentioned it last time that we were able to, there it is, improve our training facilities ongoing, improve the youth facilities. We've got a new contract. We're getting the coaching course. I mean, that 4 things all coming together this season out of 5 attempts to get something going. I'm really liking the type of progress we're able to make with the board, starting from literally nothing, but actually possibly going somewhere with it. It's nice having an agreeable board. I've had so many playthroughs where you ask the same thing 10 times and they say no 10 times, even if you are fairly determined. Okay, well, things are good. The league's wrapped up. 4 matches to play. We don't need to see those when there's, well, nothing left to play for other than development. So let's go ahead and push forward to the end of the season, and we'll wrap up the final minutes of the last game. We get underway the second half of the final match of the season as we go to wrap things up. We have 1 out up until this point and have a chance to win out the rest of the season here. We're up 3-1 already 55 minutes in. Now, we're going to open with a little reflection on the season itself. And of course, the obvious lesson that we took from this season was that mental attributes can actually really carry a team pretty far. as we went from what should, on paper, be the worst team in the league. We should have finished with probably 5 or maybe 10 points by the end of the season based on skill and physical attributes alone. But of course, the mental side carried us. Now, it's a lesson, though, that you've got to take with a grain of salt, because if we were in, say, the Premier League with low skill, low physical players who had strong mental attributes, we wouldn't be winning anything at all, right? If you went up against a young team who didn't have the mental strength, say like a Marcus Rashford, a Raheem Sterling type guys who have plenty of other qualities, you're not going to beat that team with a bunch of old men who are no longer as skilled as they once were, who definitely don't have the physicals that they once had, but have strong mental attributes. Yeah, that team's not going to win. The other team's going to run circles around them. This has so much to do with the fact that we are playing in the 10th tier. But besides that, the other reflection on the season is our development has been very moderate. We have not developed a whole lot here. As full-time whistle goes, we win 3-1. As a team, our development has been fairly moderate. I mean, you can see Iron Man here is still mostly 6s and only a handful of 7s and a couple of 8s. Across the board, I think as a team, as a unit, we probably averaged from going from a 6 to a 7. Pretty much across the board. Some a bit shy of that, some a little bit better than that. And even then, I'm not quite sure we've fully made that progression of a full point. So 1 full point across the board for all of our guys. Well, when they need about 12 to 15 points across the board to be elite players, to be the best players, to be the 200s, well, 1/15th is not good progression, right? When does a player reach their peak in their career? Probably about 10 years in, right? If they're 16 now, they're going to be about 26, 27 when they max out. So we're not on pace, but that's also something we need to take with a grain of salt. A couple things. One, we started the season with just a single coach. The coaches we have added have helped us slightly, but not significantly. Reason being, they're garbage. Also, facilities. We have horrible facilities. So how much progress can we expect the players to make? On top of that, we're semi-pro. They get practice 2 days a week. So piece all of that together, and we go, okay, I can see that 1 point across the board under all of those circumstances makes a bit of sense. Oh, and then they all had to learn positions this year, which, by the way, we've got it to the point where we're down to the last 2. The last 2 players that have not learned their base position as of yet. Spider-Man being one of those, Deadpool the other. And Spider-Man still has a ways to go to learn the striker position, considering 2 starts right at the end of the season and 6 appearances off the bench. Yeah, they can be forgiven a bit for not having really picked up the position. And I could also see from what we have here, they had at least 2 of those appearances out of position. So fewer opportunities to actually get game time at the position they need to train makes a lot of sense. Deadpool, on the other hand, is very, very close. Competent, just a notch away from learning that. And you can see they've also played out of position a bit this season. So, okay, those 2 can be forgiven for that. They'll probably have it by the time we start next season. So everybody will have learned a position. Also, everybody's going to be full-time next season. It was announced a few days back that we are turning professional as a club. Also, our reputation guaranteed has grown, and as we turn a new leaf into a new season as a professional team in the 9th tier, coming off a comfortable league title, hopefully our reputation will have grown a bit, and the next season we'll be able to continue upgrading our staff and bringing in better staff. And then, of course, we're going to have new facilities. Factor all those in, and I expect more growth next season than what we had this season. That's the objective. That's the goal. I think the mental capacity part and the continued development and going full-time, piece all that together, we should theoretically be good enough to again win the title next season in the 9th tier and continue climbing. But of course, physically, skill-wise, we're certainly not there. We're just getting carried through the mental part, but that's not going away. And we're not going to the Premier League or League 2. The skill sets are higher. The mental attributes are better, where we have less of an advantage. We're going to the 9th tier. Very similar to what we just had in the 10th tier. So I think we'll cruise through next season, which means pace-wise we'll probably be a bit quicker next season. We'll have fewer episodes as we make our way through the season, as long as the assumptions are correct. We'll be checking in, of course, on their growth. We might be able to rotate a bit more next season to get players some playing time and help them with development, like Hulk, who we kept on the bench pretty much all season long because they were a step behind Storm in development. By having a goalkeeping coach, we've seen with both of them already having an impact, even though it's a terrible coach. It's better than what they had in Professor X, who was ones across the board in the discipline. And then, of course, we'll check on those facilities and see, do we go from a level 1 to a level 2, or do we make a bit of a jump? Is it going to be level 5 or level 6? I'm hoping that's the case. Otherwise, it could really slow down their progress in the long term. That is it for this season, though. You can see our points per game. Yeah, Hulk missed out on that. We didn't get wins across the board there. Did we miss something? We did have a draw late in the season. I think we were at 3-2. We ended up with 20 wins. Oh, we did. MK Irish. Plus the Langford draw. But no losses until all the way back in September. Losing 1-0 to the London Lions. That's a heck of a season. I mean, we had barely a week and a half into the game. Our second match, we lost to Amersham. And then we lost one more a month later to London Lions, where we had some draws mixed in there. They were still just figuring it out. They were still at that current ability 1 or maybe 2, maybe 3. But then, bam, just cruised from there. I mean, a lot of 3 to 4 goal victories and not too many occasions where the defense struggled. We gave up 4, we gave up 3, we gave up 2, we gave up 4. But otherwise, going back to here where we struggled in September, from October on, mostly we were able to get 4 or 5 goals per game, though down the stretch, actually, you could see games were a bit tighter. So pressure of trying to go for the win maybe cost us a couple goals. Maybe not. Hard to say, but it was definitely tighter affairs. Of course, Enfield Borough was a team that, through this period, lost horribly bad in their matches. And you can see we were better in our last few. 2-0, 6-3, 3-1. So, I don't know. Could have been the pressure of the end of the season and the looming title. We're going to take a quick look to see what did make the team dominating. The team across the whole was very similar in terms of quality. So I'm not going to look at individuals, but we'll look at the team as a whole and see what made us so good compared to everybody else. Possession, sure, we had an advantage, but we weren't miles ahead. We were last in headers won. That's interesting. 49%, not a bad ratio, but definitely doesn't suggest that we got anything because of that. We didn't have the fewest yellow cards, but we were pretty clean. We did have the most goals, 75 to 55 for second place. So fairly significant advantage, and that's going to equal a lot of points. The goals per game, of course, really shows that, with nearly 3 per match and only one team even reaching 2. The XG was definitely higher, but also only by a bit of a margin. I mean, it wasn't crazy high compared to everybody else. We didn't get it from a ton of penalties. We had 4, scored all, but that wasn't the most. Cross completion was good, but not amazing. Goals from corner kicks, we didn't have as big of an advantage as I thought. We scored 6. That was the same as Enfield Borough. Indirect free kicks, okay, you kind of piece that with the corners. Again, at the top, but not crazy high compared to everybody else. Pass completion is just up near the top. Well, we certainly did find a way to set ourselves apart with clear-cut chances, 33 of them in the season. That certainly had an impact. So I think that's that mental attribute showing through, that we had some clear-cut chances where the other teams didn't. And that's really low. I mean, 9 is really low. 9 should be like last place in the league. And look at all these teams that had 0 clear-cut chances. I do think that that is one place where the mental attribute absolutely is a factor. And 33 clear-cut chances in 26 matches, that's over a goal a game that we added. And what was our difference compared to everybody else? Right about a goal per game. So I think we might have our winner on what was the really decisive thing that set us apart. Pretty healthy advantage in fouls against, so we were drawing a lot of fouls, and well more than what we committed, so we had more than 100 plus fouls against than for. The dribble moves, quite high compared to everybody else. And the defensive stats are kind of showing that we were somewhere between middle of the road and one of the better teams, but nothing actually suggests that we were on top. We actually had the fewest blocks in the league by quite a bit. We were near the bottom of the league in possession won. We were dead last by quite a bit in clearances. I mean, looking at some of these stats, you'd think we did quite poorly. We did read the ball a bit better, nearly on top of interceptions. And in our first season, we averaged 105 in attendance, which was next to last in the league. That's a bit of a problem. Also, percentage of capacity, that's a bit of a problem too. We're going to need to upgrade the stadium almost right away, and that's going to probably have to be one of our requests next season. All right, well, our first season is in the bag, and it goes down as a major and surprising success. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.